Let's get right into it. Number 1, the spotlight effect. Imagine walking into a party wearing a shirt with a tiny stain. Suddenly, you're convinced everyone in the room is staring at you, silently judging you like a panel of America's Next Top laundry failures. The truth, almost nobody noticed. Why? Because of the spotlight effect. This little psychological prank convinces your brain that you're the main character of reality, even though everyone else is too busy starring in their own show. It's like every person's head is a Netflix subscription that only streams them. The embarrassing slip, the awkward comment, the fact you tripped over literally nothing, most people forget it in 3 seconds flat. Researchers found that people consistently overestimate how much others notice their flaws. You might think your bright yellow socks ruined your job interview, but your interviewer was probably too busy worrying if their breath smelled like coffee and regret. The irony, this effect makes us self-conscious about being self-conscious. We walk into rooms acting like a nervous comedian bombing on stage, when in reality, nobody even bought a ticket. So the next time you feel like 1,000 invisible spotlights are roasting you alive, relax. You're not the headliner. You're just an extra in someone else's messy sitcom. Number 2, anchoring bias. Picture this: a store sells a plain old blender for $119. Next to it, a premium blender for $499. Suddenly, the $199 blender feels like a bargain, even though it's still basically a motor in a cup. That's anchoring bias. Your brain loves to latch onto the first number it sees and uses it as a reference point for everything else. Car salesmen know this. Real estate agents know this. Basically, anyone who's ever tried to convince you to buy something you didn't need knows this. It's the same reason restaurants sneak a $200 bottle of wine onto the menu, not because anyone's ordering it, but because it makes the $80 bottle seem downright responsible. Anchoring isn't about logic, it's about tricking your brain into thinking, well, compared to that, this isn't so bad. The creepy part. You don't notice it's happening. You think you're being rational, calculating, adult-like. But really, your brain's just a lazy intern who copies the first number it sees and submits it as research. So next time you drop cash on something you definitely needed, remember you weren't shopping, you were anchored. And now you're sunk. Number 3, the illusion of truth. Here's a fun game: repeat something enough times and people will believe it, even if it's absolute garbage. Psychologists call this the illusion of truth effect. Marketers call it Tuesday. Say a phrase like sugar-free means healthy or 5-second rule saves food from germs often enough, and suddenly, it sticks. Your brain mistakes familiarity for truth because it's easier than digging for evidence. Basically, your mind is like that one lazy roommate it doesn't fact-check. It just goes, yeah, I've heard that before, so it must be fine. This is why urban legends spread faster than flu season. Don't swallow gum, it stays in your stomach for 7 years. Wrong, but repeat it enough and it becomes gospel. Politicians love this one too. If they chant the same slogan for months, your brain eventually accepts it like an annoying jingle you can't get rid of. It's creepy because it works on literally everyone, even you. Oh, confident, independent thinker. Sorry. But if a lie comes wrapped in a familiar bow, your brain will put it under the Christmas tree. So next time something sounds true, ask yourself, did you research it? Or did someone just shove it into your head on repeat until your brain gave up? Number 4, foot in the door trick. Imagine a stranger knocks on your door and asks if you'd sign a petition to save the turtles. It's harmless, so you scribble your name. A week later, the same group shows up asking if you'd also like to donate $20 to the Turtle Fund. Congratulations, you've just been foot in the door. The foot in the door technique works because saying yes to something small rewires your brain into thinking you're already the type of person who supports the cause. When the bigger request comes, you feel guilty if you back out. It's like psychological peer pressure without the actual peers. Salespeople adore this. Ever wondered why free samples at grocery stores exist? It's not generosity, it's entrapment. You take a bite of that microwaved meatball, and suddenly you're buying a £3 bag of something you didn't even know existed 10 minutes ago. The wild part is you don't even notice the manipulation. You chalk it up to being polite. But in reality, your brain has been tricked into joining a loyalty program you never signed up for. So remember, every harmless little favor could be the prequel to your wallet's tragic backstory. Number 5, social proof. If everyone else is doing it, it must be right. At least, that's what your brain whispers when it sees a line outside a restaurant or a video with 10 million views. Social proof is basically the psychological version of FOMO with a tuxedo on. Humans are herd animals. We survived evolution by copying each other. If a caveman saw 20 other cavemen running from a bush, he didn't stop to debate, he ran. Modern version. You see a TikTok with 1 million likes, and suddenly you're convinced it's hilarious, even though it's just a guy lip-syncing badly with a filter. Marketers weaponize this constantly. Bestseller. Most popular 9 out of 10 dentists recommend. It's not about facts, it's about making you think. Oh, everyone else approves, so I should too. Basically, your brain hands its decision-making powers over to the crowd like a confused kid at a talent show. The creepy twist, social proof, still works even when you know it's a trick. You'll walk past 2 identical coffee shops and instinctively choose the one with more customers, even if the other one has free Wi-Fi and better muffins. So the next time you follow the crowd, just know you're not making a choice. You're auditioning for the role of sheep number 7. Number 6, the halo effect. Meet Chad. Chad is tall, fit, and has hair that looks like it was styled by angels with personal hairdryers. You instantly assume Chad is also kind, smart, trustworthy, and probably bakes gluten-free cookies for orphans. That, my friends, is the halo effect. It's when one good trait like attractiveness, charm, or a fancy title spills over and makes us assume someone's great at everything else. We see a good-looking politician and magically believe they're honest. Spoiler, they're usually not. We hear a celebrity sing and suddenly trust them about skincare, cryptocurrency, and brain surgery. Psychologists discovered this bias back in the 1920s when they realized people rated soldiers as smarter and better leaders just because they were more attractive. Basically, if life were a video game, hot people start with cheat codes enabled. The dark side, it blinds us. We forgive terrible behavior from beautiful or successful people because our brains can't handle the cognitive dissonance. It's how scammy influencers keep selling overpriced juice cleansers while laughing all the way to the bank. So yeah, next time Chad smiles at you, remember, good hair doesn't mean good person, it just means good conditioner. Number 7, scarcity principle. Nothing makes humans panic like the words only 2 left in stock. Suddenly, you're rushing to buy a random waffle maker at even though you don't even eat waffles. That's the scarcity principle at work. Your brain has been wired to equate scarcity with value. Back in caveman days, if there was only one mammoth left to hunt, you didn't wait around to compare prices, you grabbed a spear and got to work. Marketers figured this out centuries ago and have been milking it ever since. Think about Black Friday. People stampede each other for TVs they don't need because someone slapped a countdown timer on the website. Or airline sites flashing, only 1 seat left at this price, which makes you book instantly, even though that last seat miraculously regenerates for the next person. Scarcity doesn't just sell products, it sells people, too. Why do some folks suddenly seem more attractive after they become taken? It's because your brain whispers, if someone else wanted them, they must be valuable. Yeah. Your love life just got turned into an eBay bidding war. So the next time you're stressing about grabbing the last chance deal, ask yourself, do you really need it? Or are you just fighting an imaginary mammoth in the clearance aisle? Number 8, the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. You learn a new word, like bioluminescence, and suddenly it's everywhere on Netflix, in a podcast, and weirdly, on a shampoo bottle. No, the universe isn't winking at you. That's the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as frequency illusion. It happens because your brain loves patterns. Once something enters your awareness, your brain tags it as important, so you start noticing it more. It's not new, it was always there. You just upgraded your mental search filter. This is why people think their phones are listening to them. You mention wanting a kayak, then notice kayak ads everywhere. Creepy. Yes, but half the time, it's just your brain catching stuff you used to ignore. The other half, The ads are definitely spying. The unsettling part is how this feeds into conspiracy thinking. Notice a symbol once, and suddenly you see it all over society. Hear about a rare illness, and suddenly you're convinced you have it because you've spotted every symptom on WebMD. It's like your brain turned into a paranoid detective who sees clues in their breakfast cereal. So next time something starts appearing everywhere, remember, reality didn't change, you just unlocked a new level of noticing things you'll soon regret Googling. Number 9, framing effect. Would you rather buy beef that's 90% lean or beef that's 10% fat? Same thing, but the first one sounds healthier. That's the framing effect. Your brain is basically a lawyer that can be swayed by how information is packaged. Marketers and politicians love this. 95% effective sounds heroic, while 5% failure rate sounds like doom. Hospitals saying 90% survive versus 10% die can actually change patients' treatment choices even though the math is identical. It works in everyday life too. If someone describes your blind date as kind of shy but thoughtful, you'll interpret their silence as deep. But if they say awkward and quiet, suddenly you're planning an emergency exit strategy. Same person, different frame. The creepy twist. The framing effect doesn't just shape opinions, it shapes memory. Tell someone they had a great time at an event, and their brain retroactively edits the night to match the frame, even if they actually spilled wine on themselves and cried in the bathroom. So yeah, words matter, and sometimes it's not what's said, but how it's gift-wrapped in psychological manipulation. Number 10, the Barnum effect. You ever read a horoscope that says, you have untapped potential, sometimes you doubt yourself, but deep down you crave connection. Boom, you're nodding like it was written just for you. Sorry, that wasn't astrology, that was the Barnum effect pulling your strings. This trick works because people see vague, general statements as eerily accurate if they're positive and slightly mysterious. Psychics, palm readers, and personality quizzes thrive on this. The statements are crafted to be just relatable enough for everyone but feel like they're whispering your deepest secrets. It's like someone handing out fortune cookies that all say, you sometimes feel tired but also energetic, and yet half the table goes, whoa, that's so me. Our brains crave meaning, so we grab onto vague words and make them fit like a stretchy pair of jeans. The scary part. Even skeptics fall for it. Studies show people rate these generalized profiles as highly accurate even when told ahead of time that the descriptions are fake. That's how desperately your brain wants to feel seen. So the next time a BuzzFeed quiz claims to know your soulmate based on your favorite pizza topping, just remember, it's not destiny, it's psychological Mad Libs. Number 11, the default effect. If you've ever signed up for a subscription trial and forgotten to cancel before being charged, congratulations, you've been defaulted. The default effect is your brain's lazy way of saying, I'll just go with whatever's already selected. Companies exploit this ruthlessly, want fewer people to unsubscribe from emails, make the opt-out tiny and hidden, want more people to donate organs, set yes as the default choice on forms, and suddenly the donor rate skyrockets. People don't love making decisions, so they let the defaults do it for them. It's not just paperwork, it's everywhere. The ringtone on your phone, default. The font in your documents, default. The reason you still use your ex's Netflix profile pic, yup, default effect. Humans stick with what's already there because making an active choice feels like actual work. The creepy angle is how much of your life has been shaped by defaults without you realizing it. Your diet, your habits, even your retirement plan might all be based on someone else's checkbox you never unticked. So yeah, free will turns out, it often comes preloaded with someone else's settings. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.